This is Mary Prendergast, and I am talking with Tara Merrill, who is um, in our Women's Health Assessment class along with me, and she has a previous experience regarding hypnobirthing, and she is going to tell us about it. So, Tara, why did you decide to do hypnobirthing with your last delivery?
Well, I have three children. The first was born in 1972, and I had a horrific experience with ether as anesthesia and then being knocked unconscious. Um, 15 years later, when I married, I decided I didn't want to repeat of that scenario. I wanted to do a home birth. I wanted to be in control. So I did a Bradley class, and I had my son at home after 17 hours of labor using the Bradley method, which worked fairly well, but it wasn't. It was an extremely painful labor. It was really like kind of hanging in there for hours and hours and hours. So when I was preparing 2 years later to have my third baby, I started to feel a sense of panic because I really didn't want to go through that level of pain again, and I was looking for something more than a breathing technique. And I had heard of hypnobirthing, and then it kind of serendipitously happened that I had a friend who was studying at the San Diego Institute of Hypnotherapy, and he offered to train me in self-hypnosis techniques so that I could use that for my delivery.
Okay. What what did he use for your training? Were there you I think you mentioned something to me about tapes and practicing. What kind of tapes did he have you use, and what was the method? You had a mental method that you told me that he had you use. And how did that work?
Well, hypnosis has to do with allowing yourself to go into what they call a trance state, which is really sort of like daydreaming. And uh, then once you're sort of in that state, you are more receptive to ideas. So I had approximately 6 private sessions with my hypnotherapist. During that time, he devised a sort of process for me to go through, which, of course, first it was getting relaxed, getting into that trance state, and then once in the trance state, he devised a process by which I would get on an elevator and I would go down floor by floor to deeper and deeper levels of relaxation. And then the plan was that during labor, I would use this elevator, that the contractions would actually bring me up the elevator, and I would imagine myself going up an elevator as the pain, the contraction would get stronger and stronger. But when I reached the peak of my contraction, my goal or my task was to get in my elevator and push my button and start going down floor by floor by floor. And what I found during this process was that being in such a relaxed state, I did experience an altered state of consciousness. I had heard about this, that our bodies release their own pain medication, endorphins, and that if a woman is very relaxed, it can provide a euphoria, and I definitely experienced that. I found that during the process, during the labor, no matter how strong the contraction, I had that process to look forward to, and getting on my elevator and going down those floors was so enjoyable. It was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get back there. It
So
was.
you enjoyed the experience.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And you did talk about that you had your birth at home and you used a birthing tub and that you were able to do what your body wanted to do. You were in the tub when you felt like you needed to. You talked to me about there was a period of time that you felt you needed to get out of the tub and then just lay on the floor. And so with the hypnobirthing or with the hypnosis techniques, along with your birthing at home and having your midwife with you, you were able to follow the flow of what your body wanted to do, and it made it more relaxed and a more enjoyable experience for you.
Yeah, I had used water in the previous home birth, and I found that water is very pain relieving. But so I had rented a birthing tub, which I could completely immerse in, and I might have been able to deliver the baby in the tub, but I had the overwhelming urge to get out of the tub and lay on the floor on my side and deliver my baby that way. Don't know why, you know.
But it was what your body wanted, and you got to have that opportunity, which
Yeah.
was good. And I'd asked you if you noticed any difference between your children. And granted, as you said, that they're all different. But you did notice. Tell me the difference that you said you noticed between the two births as far as the baby's behavior.
Right. And as I said, you never know what's nurture and what's nature. My son, after a 17-hour labor and a pretty difficult delivery, was a very, I would say, irritable, tense baby, very fussy baby, colicky baby, difficult first, difficult infancy, difficult sleeping. My daughter was quite the opposite. She was an extremely relaxed, calm, quiet baby.
Now, were those differences you noticed, like right after the delivery? That you noticed a difference in him, like shortly after the delivery, compared to her shortly after the delivery?
Yeah.
And the first delivery was more like another new delivery because it had been a long period of time too. So, it was definitely a good experience for you, and it's something you would recommend to other people.
Oh, absolutely.
And with preparation, you have to have preparation and planning.
Absolutely. Nobody can do that without preparing. And I put a lot of time into preparing to have the kind of birth I wanted to have. And, you know, I was blessed to have not had any serious complications. And I had two very healthy babies with home births.
With good outcomes, and you had a good outcome for the last one.
Yep. And I'm still married to the same man.
And you're going to be a midwife yourself now. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.